All right. So tonight, I'm so excited to share with you some information basically about how I trained to be like a bikini competitor. And I guess I wasn't like a competitor, I was a competitor. But then also I wanted to chat with you about some ideas I have in regards to helping you guys train like that, because you all said you were interested in that. And whether you actually want to get on stage and walk around in foreign skills and prep class, or whether you just want to feel like you could if you so desired, either way, that's what we're going to talk about. So first off, I wanted to share my screen because I'm going to show you some pictures. And those of you guys have probably all seen these before, but I'm going to show them to you again. So when I started out, I wanted to talk about where I started. So this is where my journey started, right here. This picture right here. So this is January 1st of 2018. And that was when I started the 80-day obsession. So this is how I started this year. I mean, I've been doing Beachbody workouts for probably 8 or 9 years now, and I kind of have a lot of consistency with my workouts. So I don't have a lot of big transformation pictures from workout to workout. And I kind of thought, I mean, I knew when I took this picture that I had some room for improvement because I had frankly letting myself go just a little bit in November, December of last year. But I basically maintain a fairly level physique. I mean, it's fairly consistent. So I really didn't think I could take my body to the next level because I'm like, I'm already, you know, I'm doing amazing workouts. I've been very consistent. My eating could be better, but I thought, you know, this is kind of the best that I can do. I mean, I felt very happy about that, right? And so then when I finished 80-day obsession, let me get back to that. This is my results from 80-day obsession. So 80 days, so basically like April 15th. Those are my results. And I was pretty darn happy with this. I was like, dang, you can improve your body. I mean, again, I mean, my friend Jen, she's on here, we've talked about, you know, it's sometimes, you know, we bring out new workout programs and I'll do my before pictures and I'll do my after pictures and I can always make some changes, but most people really can't. And they're just like, wah, wah. You know, it's like, you look kind of the same as you did when you started. And I was like, oh, well, this picture here was very different from when I started. And I was really excited by that. I'm like, wow, I really can push my body to a different level and achieve some different results. So this is actually what inspired me to want to explore the bikini competitor world. I mean, it gave me confidence. You know, I like at 50 years old, I finally have a booty that I'm not just, you know, I don't feel like I've got to pull my little swim wrap on every time I get up off my lounge chair to go to the bathroom, right? It's like, okay, let's do this. So from there, I will stop sharing. I'll come back to you guys. From there, I don't know, I kind of started thinking about doing the Beachbody Classic. And the Beachbody Classic, just in case you're not familiar with it, is a competition that Beachbody runs every year for coaches. So you need to be a coach to be in the classic, and you need to have done a Beachbody workout program, right, to get into that shape. So, and they've been running this for several years, and it's gotten bigger and bigger. And so I decided I'm like, well, maybe I'll do that. So I started checking into it, and I got really nervous. So I was like, you know, man, these people know what they're doing. And, you know, because it's gotten a lot bigger than when I very, very first started. And there's a lot of people that compete in this competition that are doing it for a variety of reasons. And you see all shapes and sizes of people on the stage. So you're not, I mean, it's quite honestly, it's not going to look like if you saw any of the pictures of the contestants that I was with, it's not going to look like that. It's going to be much broader range of body shapes and body types. But, you know, I'm kind of a, you know, perfectionist person. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, you know, I want to I want to feel really good about what I'm doing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I just backed out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm totally overwhelmed. And so about that same time, I met somebody, one of my Facebook followers. She and I started chatting, and she said that she competes and that she has a coach that has a very balanced approach to eating, which has always been my biggest concern because I come from a background of eating disorders. And I'm like, I wasn't sure I could ever follow a nutrition plan closely enough to achieve those kinds of changes in my body. But with 80-day session, I followed the nutrition plan and I had amazing results. And I was like, if I could do that, then I think I could do this. And so she hooked me up with my coach, and I started training. Well, I started training with her. And so here's what I did with my coach. So I paid her $300 a month, right? That's kind of the going rate. I heard it was a pretty good rate by some other standards, but she gave me a monthly workout plan. So she gave me basically 7 days a week of workouts. And then we repeated that for the month, and then she would give me another plan the next month. She gave me a meal plan, and she gave me, again, one meal plan for the month. And it was basically, I think she gave me like 5 days of, and then she gave me some lists of swaps. Does that sound familiar? It's like, okay, here's kind of, and she gave me the macros, which I've never really done macros before, but a lot of people understand that. So that's what I got from her. And then she was available to me via text or phone call anytime I wanted. Gave me her, she's an NPC coach, and she's a pro, an IBFF pro. So she's competed at the professional level. So she kind of knew what she was doing. She and her sister run the business. So, but I also told her, I said, I do my Beachbody workouts and I drink my Shakeology and all this and stuff. And so that's really a part of who I am. I really want to keep as much of that as I can. So she said, fine, we'll go with that. So, Shakeology, my Recover, my Energize, all my favorite things I got to keep. And then my workouts, so even though she gave me free workout programs, I still use my Beachbody workouts. So I did the whole entire Lift 4 program while I was training for this competition. And it worked beautifully. On the days whenever she had me doing upper body, my honest dude Joel, the guy totally knows what he's doing. And I had, amazing results with that. I used, his legs. Oh my gosh, she had me doing so much metric leg work. That's what Joel's legs is. It's the whole hip portion is all metrics. So, I used 80-day obsession legs. I used his old butt lift legs. Excuse me. So I did a lot of the stuff that I was doing. I just did it. I kind of used her calendar to kind of help me understand how often I should be doing, like, particularly legs and cardio and things like that. And let me just tell you what I'm talking. She gave me a plan for my body type, and I know she worked with other clients, gave them plans for their body type, right? So let me just preface all of this by saying I am not trying to position myself as a bikini competitor coach because I don't have that expertise. Just like I don't have a nutritional background to write individual meal plans for people. And, I'm not a certified personal trainer, so I really don't have the background to write personal workout plans for people. That's why I'm a coach with Beachbody, because I let experts do those things. I let the professional nutritional experts like Alana, like, our staff of nutritionists write meal plans that you all can use. And the same with the workout programs. Why would I, Sean T and Autumn and Shalene, they all can create those workout programs. So we as coaches, or me, we don't do that. We don't have to do that. And so that's what I'm saying is I started all of this out with those programs, right, that were put together by experts. Autumn Calabrese herself was a competitor. She kind of knows what she's doing when it comes to toning and shaping a woman's body. So my focus with my coach was to work on my glutes and hamstrings. So she didn't want me to be any much leaner. She didn't really want me to get any more defined up top. So we really focused. And so I really used her plan to help me understand how often I should be working my lower body, as well as the different kinds of exercises that would most effectively create the look that they were looking for in the bikini competition. So that's kind of, and like I said, With her, I mean, we did posing practice. He hooked me up with there's a practice suit that you pose in. If you see my pictures, I had just this simple little posing suit that you really need to wear, because you know you're not going to be wearing your swimsuit on stage when you wear it to the beach. You're going to be wearing the butt floss, and that's how you need to pose. I mean, when I look at the pictures I first sent her before I got the posing suit, you know, the poses that I did were nothing like the poses that I actually needed to be doing. So, you know, they're more like what we typically do with Beachbody, right? We're like, yeah. It's like, no, that's not the way we're doing it. And so I started posing. Once I learned the poses, I started sending her my pictures every week in those poses, right? So she could see those changes. And I sent her weekly pictures. So every Thursday morning I got up and I did that with 80 Day Obsession too. I think it was Thursdays. I don't know. I put on my progress pants. That's what I called it. I put on my progress pants and I took my pictures every single week with 80 Day Obsession. And with her, I did the very same thing. And I sent those pictures to her. The only measurement I sent her was my weight. And she really wasn't even worried about the weight. She was just like, you know, I'm going to go by how you look. We focused on, you know, making my waist look smaller because I'm a rectangle shape. And we were able to carve, like, I think a couple inches off of it, at least with some of the things that we did. So that's really what I have to offer to all of you, is just kind of my experience. And when I say it's my experience, I want you to understand it's my experience. So you all have different body types, right? So, you know, I know enough from what I learned from her that I can help you, you know, Carol, obviously, you know, you have a different body type than me, or a different place, right? So I would have you do some different additional things, right, than maybe I did. But, you know, maybe the workout program that we choose for you has everything you need. One of the things is, you know, like with Body Beast or 80 Day Obsession, I know a lot of times people are worried about not having enough cardio. And I can tell you, with the bikini competition, like one of my friends, the one that hooked me up with this, I mean, she's a super, super tiniest little thing you'd ever want to see, but she had a little bit of extra weight on her. And, you know, you couldn't tell at all by normal standards, but coach had her doing like an hour and a half a day of cardio. Versus me, I was in 30 minutes. So that's the kind of stuff, like I said, if you really are, I mean, I will recommend my coach to you if you want to get into that level of a plan. And, you know, like I said, I have $300 a month, you know, all that. And I would be happy to recommend her to you. If you want to do like I was going to do last year and go to like the Beachbody Classic, but not go in completely feeling blind. Like, I don't know what's going on with all these 500 people that are going to be there. I'm going to be lost. If you want to go in with a little bit of, you know, a little bit of experience under your belt via me, then that's what I'm here to do, is to help you do that. And if you don't want to get on that stage and do that at all, you don't have to. Okay, so no problems. And if you do this and you decide like you really want to rock and roll, because you know, the competition season starts like in the late spring. So, you know, maybe you want to get ready to do some like, you know, other competitions, or maybe you want to do the Beachbody Classic and then you want to do like the fall shows like I did. There's all kinds of options. But if nothing else, it's a great way to, I mean, what I really loved about this whole process was seeing that I really can achieve a different result when I push my body to a different level. The workouts for me, I have to tell you, I think for everybody on this call, it's no big deal, right? It's like we work out. That's what we do. That's what we do. The eating was more precise. But I have to tell you, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to give you the container equivalents. That's our portion-controlled container equivalents of what I ate. Because really, it wasn't all that different from what you would do with an 80-day obsession. It really wasn't all that different. Just a little. So I'm going to give that to you. And then, like I said, based upon your own weight, you know, you may need to eat some different container equivalencies, right? But I think a lot of you are kind of in my same bracket-ish, you know, maybe one above, you know, something like that. So I think it's going to be, you know, it'll be just fine. I think you'll understand it totally. The other thing I wanted to show you, so I showed you what inspired me when I first started. I showed you my beginning, my January 1st pictures. I showed you my April 15th pictures. And then I'll show you my bikini competition pictures, which you've probably already seen, but I will show them to you. So my coach asked me to show this at one point because she wanted to use it in her own marketing. So that's kind of in the swimsuit, right? That was me when I first started posing. That was like one of like week 1 or week 2. So that was still with my 80-day obsession booty. That was, you know, my 80-day obsession booty. And then this was my booty like a week or 2 before competition. So same kind of, you know, same swimsuit and everything. So my coach wanted to actually use this in her own marketing because, you know, it kind of shows, you know, what she was able to do. But again, with what I can do for you is I can show you how, really how I went from here to here with the additional glute work as well as just the tweaks to the diet that I think are going to make a big difference. Let's see. And then obviously you've seen these pictures. That's where I ended up. So if you think back to the January 1st picture, I mean, to me, I'm just like, you can see the smile on my face because it's like, I can't even believe I did that. I can't even believe I did it. I can't believe I did it and I didn't go crazy. I didn't, you know, I didn't go into some crazy, like, spin out of control eating cycle. I did it. You know, yeah, I was a little cranky at times. Yeah, I was kind of tired, really tired at times when I started cutting carbs. And the coach and I talked about it and we adjusted. I mean, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And when I say hard, I don't mean hard as in physically challenging because it was pretty flippin' hard, but hard as in I did it, you know. And I always say, you know, when you keep the promises you make to yourself, and, you know, your only competition is really with yourself. And when you make yourself freaking proud, I mean, that's just one more notch on your confidence belt. You know, when you prove to yourself that you can do things that you never thought you could do, it's a confidence booster. So that's really the biggest thing I got out of the whole entire competition was just, you know, just being so proud of myself for having the discipline that I didn't think I had. I never thought I had that kind of discipline. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, it was your diet. Yeah, a lot of it was my diet, but I can also tell you that a lot of it was just those additional tweaks that I made, particularly to the training of my glutes. So as I go forward with my training, that will be something I'm continuing to do. And she had me do some additional supplements that are designed, you know, specifically for muscle development and shaping, so that, you know, I'm not all lean and striated. Is that what it's called? Striated, veiny, you know, so I was a little more rounded and things like that. So those are things I can share with you too. But most of all, I would love to have you guys do this because I want some company. It's always fun. And Christy's not even on the call, but she's the one that started it. She's like, Deb, I kind of want to do that Beachbody Classic. I'm like, well, I think that's a great idea, and I'd do it with you too. So, and then I said, well, why don't we ask if anybody else wants to do it? So now I'm going to open it up for questions. Tell me what's going on. So somebody else says, was it a 12-week training program? Was mine a 12-week training program? Mine, I started in, it was after Summit. Yes. So it was, oh yeah, it was like the end of June because my coach went on vacation like the first or second week in July. So yeah, it was like the third week in June is when I started. And I went all the way up to November 10th competition. Some people started training a lot earlier. Some people started training later. Like my friend, she's done competitions before. She didn't start training until probably the end of July, at least not with the coach, you know. And again, once you kind of know what to do, like, you know, I mean, for me, I can't pay $300 a month every month, right? And so it's like, that was a lot of money. It was kind of a big choke for me and for John. But, you know, I just felt like, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, you know what to do. It's like, no, I really don't. Not to get those kinds of results, because I'm not an expert in that. But now I have a better idea. So what other questions do you have? You can unmute yourself and talk if you want. Everybody ready to go?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the posing, how hard was it to get that down?
Oh my gosh.
It looks like you're in a pretzel.
When I started posing practice, it was the most painful thing I'd ever done.
Great.
I mean, because I have the lower back issues anyway, and the arch and the flexibility. But I have to say that, you know, by the time I got to the end, it wasn't bothering me like it did at the beginning. But I do have to say, though, that when you are practicing, like even when we were, like I can remember, what was it, the day of or whatever, like just practicing, or even like you go on stage, I mean, you sweat. You know, your posing makes you sweat because you are like, you're tensing your muscles so much. And so it was really a lot harder than I expected it to be. So it's something that I think, like, I actually studied a lot of stuff on Instagram. I looked up some YouTube stuff. I mean, I think I brought stuff to the table to my coach, things and moves that I saw that I liked, that, you know, we used. But of course, then there's also, you have to know what kind of posing to do. You know, we don't pose like the pros do. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, stop watching all the pros. That's not what you're going to be doing. Like, you literally have like 20 seconds to do your routine. And it's not like flip your hair and do all that stuff. It's like, no. So, I mean, having her guide me on stuff like that was really, really, I mean, it just boosted my confidence. All the girls were like, we can't even imagine, number one, not having been a part of a team. There was only 4 of us there, but still we were a team. And we didn't even meet each other until we got to the competition. But we did some texting. And then number 2, not having a coach, you know, that was just there to guide us. I mean, just on the tanning, on makeup, on hair, on our picking out the colors for our suits and what not to do and all that stuff. I mean, that's the stuff that like made me want to choke when I thought about doing the first competition. So yeah, that was really important. But I mean, we'll start posing. Like, I will show you some basic poses that I would want you to send your pictures every week, just so that you have an idea. And then we would go from there. So the plan that I would suggest is that whoever wants to do it, obviously we're all using our Beachbody workout programs. We're all doing our supplements, our Shakeology, our performance, and all that good stuff. I will give you the meal plan that I'm recommending, and we'll tweak it as we need to, right, for your body type. And then we're also going to send in your first set of pictures. Then we can go into maybe some of the different things that I would want to see you focus on, as far as, you know, additional cardio or the glute work and things like that. You're going to love the glute work, but you're going to hate it, but you're going to love it. You're just going to be like, oh my God. You're going to see the pictures and you're like, oh my gosh. So, but it's hard to build those darn glutes. That was the biggest thing that surprised me. It was like, I'm working my hiney off literally. And I would take my pictures and I'm like, dang. With 80-day session, you know, in 80 days, we had those amazing results. We're like, wow. But to go to that next level and get that, I was like, holy crap. And even now, like the pictures that I had, I mean, I've seen other competitors that have their year 1 picture and then like their year later picture, and their glutes are totally different. So it just takes time. But it's you know, if you want to do it, then we're going to have to commit to, we're going to, you know, pick out the workout program. You know, I think Body Beast is important for a lot of you because you really need to build the muscle. And it's just a good start to building the muscle. I think Lift 4 is too. Jen I think Jen really likes to lift weights, and she's done all the weightlifting programs. So we can talk more about which one we think has the best results. You know, 80-day obsession, I love. I don't think it doesn't have the lifting as much. So again, depending upon what your body type is, for me, it was fine, right? Because I'm already super muscular on my upper body. So things like that. And I can tell you a lot of the glute work she had me doing, straight out of Full Butt Lift 101. Leandro, back in the whenever he created that program. So awfully creative new ones as well. New ways to create pain. Torture.
So, Deb,
So it wasn't all the ball work that we did on Thanksgiving, because that killed my butt.
That's just the special one you get to do like 3 times a week. No, I didn't even show you the band one. I did the band one last night, and I was literally crying. Like, why does it still hurt so bad? Why?
So, Deb, I have a question about how much you were lifting per week. Like, how many days were you lifting per week? And did you start lifting much heavier than you've always been used to lifting? Because, like you said, you're very muscular to begin with, and you weren't lifting like crazy heavy weights. You never were like a heavy lifter.
Yeah, with Lift 4, I lifted a lot heavier than I did with 80 session. So yeah, I used heavier weights. You know, but it's really interesting because at one point I was talking to my coach, and she, you know, I made some, it was even, I think it was even about my glutes, and I said, I see other people doing their stuff and they're using a lot heavier weights than me. And she's like, you know, you can go heavier, but she says you don't have to. She said, I really want you to focus on the engagement. It's the engagement of the muscle. So back to your question with upper body, I mean, she had me doing, towards the end, she had me doing more, which I thought was kind of interesting. But for the majority of my training program, I was doing upper body twice a week. And so with Lift 4, I mean, when I did it, he does 3 days of upper body, right? He does back and biceps, chest, and anyway, I think it's 3 days, but I did all of them. So I did his 3 days instead of doing her 2 days. So, but then whenever I got done with Lift 4, I just followed the 2 days. But I mean, I got my, you know, bicep curls. I mean, I did, and when I finished, I was lifting heavier than I've lifted before. I mean, it's still not super heavy, you know. It's like, I mean, I was up to 15s on my bicep curls, and you know, I don't do super heavy on my chest, on my shoulders, just because I have impingement. But you know, I did 20s and stuff like that. So, any other?
And do you feel like you have to go at a certain point to the gym? Because I know you utilize the gym a little bit, and
yeah,
my husband is pushing me to do. He's like, if you're really going to do this, you're going to have to get into the gym.
Well, I didn't go to the gym until the last month. I think it was the last month. And that was to the point where she was wanting me to do, I was concerned that I needed to do a lot. I needed equipment for my glutes, that I needed to up the ante on my glute workouts. And then and she had me doing a lot of different types of cardio. Like she really wanted me to do cardio that always engaged my glutes. So don't just go for a run. Like I would go for runs and I would be doing these intervals of frog jumps and squat jumps and this and that. And it was heinous and awful. And I hate plyo so much, but it must work because I mean, like every day I was doing some kind of plyo, and she's like, keep the plyos. I'm like, oh my God, isn't there something else to do? So that's why I think I went, that's the main reason I went to the gym, because so I could do the stair mill. Like she had a really great stair mill workout for me that really just engaged the glutes. And then she had me doing some treadmill work, you know, and I did as much of that as I could outside. But then I kind of got to the point where I'm like, okay, everything just needs to be completely focused on my glutes. So I used the elliptical, you know, she had me doing elliptical sprints and then I'd be off doing plyo, then I'd come back and do elliptical sprints. I mean, I was crazy. It was awful. But so that's really the main reason why I went to the gym, was for the cardio equipment, you know. And then while I was there, you know, I was able to take advantage of the new machines for my glutes and things like that. I mean, it's not something that you have to do. I mean, again, it just depends on what you want. I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever I didn't want to go to the gym, I would just get out, you know, I would do Joel's, you know, dynamic legs and plyo myself to death. Or like I started doing like cardio, 21 Day Fix Extreme plyo. I'm like, oh my gosh. My butt hurt so bad. You know, the first week I did 21 Day Fix Extreme after the competition, my butt hurt so bad. I'm like, I can't even believe that my butt still hurts from workouts. So, anything else?
How do you feel that Transform 20, since it's launching soon, could fit into this?
You know, I think that especially since when it's launching, I think it'll be fine. And it will definitely, like I said, I know it does use some weights, but I mean, it'll definitely probably fulfill the need for the cardio and probably a lot of the legs, like the plyo and stuff like that. You know, so I mean, it's just like whenever I started Lift 4 just launched, and I did the whole Lift 4 program. I just did additional. I mean, so I'm going to do Transform 20, but I'm going to keep doing my glute work. That's the main thing for me. For my goals is to keep the glute work. And Lily, you're so toned already anyway, too, so.
Well, I could definitely use the glute work, and that's what I'm more interested in, as well as the knowledge of helping other people. You know, more knowledge to me is powerful. So
yeah. I think we all use the glute work. You're gonna stop anybody that's gonna do a bikini competition can use the glute work. It's like the main thing. It's the main thing. So will I compete again? I kind of, you know, I'm thinking that I might do the season next year. I might. They call it a season. So, I mean, if I'm going to go through this process, then why not? I don't know how many I do. I mean, my coach, like to become a pro, they were competed in 44 shows before they got their pro card. And she said one season she did 14 shows in like a 3-month period. I mean, so it's really intense. I don't want to do that by any stretch of the imagination, and my husband wouldn't want me to do that either. But, you know, I think we were just talking today. He said, I can't wait to get back home and start eating good again, because it's like for the last 2 weeks I've been on this like rampage. So it's like I'm kind of looking forward to having my noodles and turkey meat sauce again, and you know, my simple meals and all that. I mean, and it just wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't any. I realized that it wasn't something that I could not do. I could do it.
I think that'll be my biggest challenge because I'm such a foodie and I love to cook. So
I don't like to cook, so that's not a problem.
You do like to cook.
yeah.
Well, and you might be able to make some creative recipes. Like she gave me some things, but it's like, you know, okay, that's too many ingredients. I don't want to do that. It has like 4 ingredients. I just want the one with 2.
What were some of the meals that you missed the most, I guess, that you didn't get to have?
Even for me, my eating wasn't 100% of what she gave me, just because she didn't want me to lose any weight. I mean, I ended up losing 5 pounds, and I dropped probably a couple pounds lower than what she expected me to. Once you get towards the competition week, yeah, a couple pounds of weight loss is what she was but through the whole entire time, she really wanted me to kind of stay the same. So I wasn't really like super, super focused. I mean, I did have some cheat meals, and you can have a cheat meal once a week is what the deal was. And so like I would go to Rancho Grande and have my Mexican, but you know, I did make different choices. I mean, I did make different choices at times, not always, but a lot of times I did. I mean, I had some pizza, like I would have a piece of pizza and I would have a salad, you know, a big salad with some chicken on it at first. And then I would have so stuff like that, just different things. So I don't know that I really missed anything horribly. I mean, pastas, like what? I don't even need pasta anymore. I have zoodles. Who needs pasta? And I used to love pasta. One of my favorite food groups. So from here, if you guys want to do it, I want that commitment, because I'm going to spend my time with you guys, but we're going to do weekly check-ins. You're going to send me your pictures like that same day, every morning, every week. And then I'll give you feedback that day on your pictures. And then what we need to do is we need to figure out like what program we're going to start with. Not we, but you. So I think I'll not on this call because we're running out of time, but you know, throw out some different ideas, some different suggestions. But definitely, I think Transform 20 totally fits into it. But you know, here's the biggest thing: we're not doing 30-minute a day workouts anymore with this. I'm sorry. I mean, that was probably the biggest change for me because I was working out at times. It took me 2 hours to get through my workout just because. Number one, it wasn't familiar. Number two, it's not like when you push play and there's no breaks. It's like I'd be like, oh my God, you know. So I really started having to allow myself a good hour and a half, if not longer, to get my workouts in. So that's kind of the big difference as far as time goes. Okay, yay. But we were used to an hour with 80-day sessions, so it's not so bad. The biggest thing you want to do in the beginning is we really want to work on building your muscle. Building. And it's kind of like body piece. There's the bulk phase, and then there's the, you know, so it's the same thing. We got to build that muscle. Then we can work on, you know, weaning off the fat and defining all that. So that's what I want us to focus on, you know, in December, especially going into January. So we're going to run out of time, so I'll put you on a little group chat, and we'll go from there. But thanks, ladies, for tuning in. I'm so excited. I love you guys. You're my thing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
How do we get out of it?